What makes a community? Is it a neighborhood of homes? A skyline of buildings? An appreciation of differences? A core of shared values? Community is greater than the sum of these parts. A blossoming of our diversity into unity for the common good of all. And there are the few whose vision, energy, and action ripple beyond geographical boundaries to touch countless lives. At the center of those ripples are Sandra and Leon Levine, whose generosity and spirit of leadership are reflected in everything they do. Because of them, our community has profoundly changed, not only in the way we see ourselves, but also in the way we see our world, and in the way we are seen across the nation and around the globe. In that sense, Sandra and Leon Levine have truly become citizens of the world. Leon retired from Family Dollar in 2003, marking the end of a career and the beginning of Sandra's and his legacy to the community they love. Working through the Leon Levine Foundation, they apply the same hands-on approach to philanthropy that Leon applied to business.
Well, I think that anyone that's ever negotiated with Leon knows that they're going to lose. It's just how badly. And it's one of the great things that has happened is since Leon's retired, he's turned those negotiating skills over into philanthropy, where he helps get the most bang for your buck in terms of doing good.
They are always looking at the outcomes that come about as a result of their gifts, so that if they make a gift, they are going to monitor the outcomes and make sure that their giving was as responsible as it could possibly be.
The Levines are very serious about what they're trying to do, and they're trying to do things that count, to do things that'll last, to do things that'll make the world a little bit better for their fellow man.
I remember being in a meeting several years ago with some folks in town, and someone in that meeting said, you know, I think it might be time for someone else outside of this community to step up and take some responsibility for some things that are happening in our community. Mr. Levine, Leon, nor Sandra said anything, but at the very end of that meeting, they closed the meeting in such a thoughtful and impactful way. They said, this is our community. If we don't step up and help this community, then who will?
Intrinsic in their efforts is a strong sense of family. Sandra and Leon cherish their relationship with their children and grandchildren. And striving for a better quality of life for all people and all families, Sandra and Leon adhere to core values. Values that are inseparable from their Jewish heritage and identity.
The Jewish community has been the beneficiary of Leon and Sandra's generosity for decades. Through their philanthropy, they have genuinely transcended boundaries of all kinds, including geography. They are providing support to young Israeli students, kids at risk in Israel and in Hadera, in the same way that they are here in Charlotte.
Birthright Israel is an opportunity for Jewish young adults to go to Israel on a 10-day trip to explore Israel and connect with your Jewish identity.
The greatest part of the trip for me was going to the Wailing Wall and experiencing the spirituality that comes upon you when you enter. It is truly amazing.
Sandra and Leon understand that identity with a larger community provides an anchor and a sense of meaning to life. But to reach the full potential of one's God-given talents, there is no substitute for education. Sandra and Leon have generously contributed to key institutions for facilities and programs that ensure access to education for all citizens.
The Levine support has been tremendous for us. It's had great impact on our programs because we were able to cover several things from our operating expenses.
Our vision at Central Piedmont is to be the nation's leader in workforce development. So we're a career-focused college, and Leon and Sandra care about that. They know that dignity begins with a job. Hundreds of students every year are going to this college because of them.
The scholarship has allowed me to go to school. I'm just really thankful that they have the money and the opportunity to help us.
I think it's actually difficult to overstate the impact that the Levine Scholars Program has had on UNC Charlotte. It's allowed us to recruit top-tier students both in-state and out-of-state. It's increased our profile, we think, and will continue to do that. And it really does allow us to go forth and make our presence known both in the community, across campus, and further beyond.
And the opportunities for the student to impact the community, the nation, and the world and become a global citizen, there was no question in taking it.
Education is more than career training. It's a lifelong endeavor, enriching and stimulating the vitality of a community, and encouraging all ages to become engaged with history, the arts, and science.
They take a keen interest in science and the way children learn about science. I mean, bringing the Dead Sea Scrolls all the way from Israel, that was quite an undertaking, and they understood that otherwise the folks in this community and the surrounding region would not otherwise have the opportunity to see these extraordinary objects.
But sometimes, community identity and educational opportunities aren't enough. Those with fewer advantages are in need of extra assistance, regardless of language, religion, or national origin.
The legal clinic is a wonderful example of the ripple effect because we have clients who leave as naturalized citizens and they are able to get better jobs, better educated and enroll in schools and graduate programs, and have a higher and stable income level for their families.
I don't have money, I have no family, I have nobody. But when I came here, in 6 months, I was healed.
Hundreds of people every year depend on this clinic and depend on it so that they can get a foot to move up the ladder. And so that's what the Levines have done.
There is one area that touches all segments of our community: the health of each individual and the need for care in times of illness or injury. Sandra and Leon have been champions in supporting the major healthcare initiatives for our region and beyond. Thanks to their generosity, the finest facilities and medical teams are making a dramatic impact on quality of care, cutting-edge research, and significant advancements in treatment outcomes.
The generosity of the Levines in the healthcare space in our community is something that not only has an impact today, but it'll have an impact for the future.
Sandra and Leon helped us in our International Medical Outreach Program, which is centered mainly to Central America and the Caribbean, and is a partnership between Carolina's healthcare system and the Heinemann Foundation. And somewhere in the corner of Honduras, there is also a Sandra and Leon pediatric intensive care unit. Not as big as the hospital in Charlotte, but it does as much good to them as they did to us.
And so our city, our state, our nation, and our world will benefit from Sandra and Leon Levine's philanthropic vision for generations to come. But perhaps their greatest gift is not any one donation, but the example they set for a world in need of charity and justice, repair and healing, and acts of loving kindness.
What they're doing is they're positioning Charlotte to be an international center of the arts, of medicine, of science, and they're positioning the various groups within Charlotte to have an international impact.
Sandra and Leon, the eyes of the world will soon be on Charlotte. Regardless of political affiliation and beliefs, people will see us as a shining example of a city concerned with creating a better life for all of its residents. Your generosity and your commitment to our common good are inseparable from what the world will see. In that sense, you not only have brought the world to Charlotte, but you are bringing Charlotte to the world. Who knows how far the ripples of your contributions may reach and how the world might be changed because of you. On behalf of the citizens of our great city, I want to say thank you.
To Mr. and Mrs. Levine, thank you very much.
I know all 40 of us want to say thank you for what you did.
Toda Rabah, thank you very much for all that you do and for making our lives better and more enriched.
Mr. and Mrs. Levine, I'd like to sincerely thank you for the opportunities that not only you've afforded me, but that you've afforded this community.
Gracias.
I thank you again. May God give you a long life to be here, to help others, cannot help themselves. Thank you very much.